Dan was quietly working in his office. There was a knock at his door.
Come in.
Hey, Dan. Ziegler wants to see you.
He wants to see me?
Yeah, that's what I just said.
Where?
His office.
Dan exited his office and entered the one of Robert Ziegler. Ziegler was sitting in his desk while two other men that Dan has never seen before stood on either side of Ziegler.
You wanted to see me?
Have a seat. I'm sure you're aware of what has happened to Jimmy McLeod.
Yes, I think we all are.
We all are, and we all were.
I'm sorry?
We all knew what was going to happen to Jimmy before it happened to him. Rumors spread through this place like the plague. I'm not oblivious to that. That being said, everyone is aware of the secrecy that each member is sworn to in this city, and that discretion is the one thing we can rely on with these politicians. We can confidently rely on every member of Washington to withhold information from the public, which is why I'm confused that McLeod sold all his shares before he could get hit.
Well, the media said it was because he was a selfish bastard that only cared about himself and not the company.
Cut the shit, Dan. Everybody here knows it was a hit job. Now, it certainly helped with the narrative, but the storm was supposed to come out of nowhere and bankrupt him before he could make a phone call. Those prices were to collapse to zero, turning that son of a bitch into nothing. He wouldn't just sell all his shares unless someone tipped him off. Was that you, Dan?
Why would you think it would be me?
Well, you were good friends with him, weren't you?
I wouldn't say we were good friends, but...
But you just told him to sell all his shares and prepare for what's coming. We know, Dan. You really think we wouldn't bug his phone? How interested do you think we were when we found your voice on the other end warning him about what's to come?
What do you want? You want me to resign?
I want you to do what he refused to do. We want you to do exactly what you're told.
Who's we? You and your little clique here?
Dan, I'd be careful of what you say or do next. Look what they did to one of the richest people on the planet. You're just a little shitty congressman. Everybody knows Congress is just a fancy word for puppet. It's time to find your puppeteer, Dan. Meet me here tomorrow morning. I got a job for you.
Dan got up from his chair and left Ziegler's office. He began walking through the hall. Once he walked a good distance away from Ziegler's office, he reached in his pocket and pulled out his recorder. He checked his surroundings before hitting the stop button. Megan was in the back seat of the heavy armored vehicle with the bag over her head once again. The vehicle stopped.
Okay, we're here.
Megan was guided out of the vehicle and onto the road.
You got the recordings? Your camera and everything?
I think so.
Okay, this is the deal. Just walk straight ahead for 20 steps. Once you do that, you can take off the bag.
All right.
Don't worry, it's safe. You're not walking off a cliff or anything.
Okay, thanks.
Meg slowly did as she was told and walked straight ahead until she did 20 steps. She took the bag off her head. She was in an empty parking lot just outside the southern area of the city. She looked back. The vehicle was gone. Megan grabbed her phone and began dialing.
Hello?
Nick,
Yeah?
I got it. I need you to pick me up right now.
Jimmy was a mess. He's never had a sip of alcohol, but he was beginning to understand why so many people do.
Jimmy?
Yes,
There's still an angry mob outside our home.
I know.
Well, are you going to do something?
What can I do? It's their right to be pissed. They think I'm this fucking puppeteer that is controlling the system because he hates humanity, even though I tried to help humanity. Now I'm the scapegoat for all this bullshit.
Okay, why don't you just take it easy for a second? You explained it to them at the debates that you're not that guy. You said it was all these other people.
It doesn't matter. They got the public in the palm of their hand.
How?
Long ago, they saw the mainstream media was dying, so they created fake problems that the government created and defended, including the mainstream.
Okay.
So the reason being is so they can create other media influencers who were independent. They opposed these so-called problems, tricking the public into believing that they were against the establishment.
But they were a part of it.
Exactly. They were members. That way, once they get the trust of the people, they can now influence them in any way they see fit. All these so-called independent, anti-government, anti-establishment, pro-resistance voices are nothing but propagandists.
So now they convince their audience that you're the guy behind all the problems in the world.
Correct. Those who watch the mainstream thinks I'm that guy, and those who follow these influencers think I'm that guy. While the real men behind the scenes aren't scrutinized at all. In fact, nobody knows who they are. Add on top all the other bullshit they're saying. I'm a sexual predator, I'm a criminal, murderer, terrorist, I commit fraud and screwed over all my employees so I can make more money.
I know they're trying to drive a wedge between us, James, but I'll never leave. Whatever you do, wherever you go, I'll be by your side.
They want me to conform. I've been upsetting them ever since my cult idea.
Your what idea?
I had this idea to start a cult as a testing ground, to implement new laws in the government.
Tried to start a cult? How come I never heard of this?
Well, I never went through with it.
I mean, Jesus, Jimmy. I don't think you can try that out anymore. There's new rules to prevent that from happening.
I know.
You would have to start that in another country, and that's probably if you buy a new country and do it.
Buy a new country?
I was exaggerating.
Well, why don't I do that?
Jimmy, I wasn't being serious.
Look, if I can buy a country from some poor continent, or at least buy influence from an already poor country, I could maybe implement my laws there. I mean, shit. All those leaders in Africa are already corrupt. They'd sell out their country for a slice of ham. I gotta go.
Jimmy, no!
Paul was sitting in his basement. Staring across from him is the man from the Monkey King that he interrogated in the prison chained to one of the pipes.
Okay, listen, man. I know it seems like I'm kidnapping you, but I'm not.
You're just chaining me in your basement against my will. Yeah, I agree. It's totally not kidnapping. You're just borrowing me is all.
Okay, fine. I kidnapped you. But you can be set free if you tell me why you, as well as many others like you, are released. I mean, the government called you a terrorist group. They're basically going to go to war with the Monkey King. Why would they just let all you go?
The man said nothing.
Okay, so now you don't want to speak. I guess that makes sense. The word is that you guys are pretty hard to crack, not telling anybody a peep about your group, even when they torture you over there. Although, I must say, you don't look like you've been tortured.
Well, if it makes you feel any better, I'm being tortured right now.
Yeah, but I'm not asking you the same questions they're asking. You know my stance? I'm not for eliminating your group. I'm for listening to what you guys have to say. Why did they let you go, huh?
The man said nothing. He just stared blankly at Paul. Paul knew this was going to be difficult. The room was tense. It seemed like every member of the Monkey King were shouting out their opinion, but none can agree on any of them.
Should we send a peace offer?
What offer would that be?
I don't know. You don't attack us, and maybe we won't frame ourselves for murder that we didn't commit.
What is that supposed to mean?
I mean that we wouldn't be in this mess if we didn't do that terrible idea just to get some kid on our side.
Alex is an important figure. He has the support of mostly everyone in the inner city. Once they see him on our side, we can get more support from the people.
So what are we going to do then? Have Alex go and announce his commitment in front of the country? Like a high school football player announcing his commitment to Texas A&M?
Megan's article could play a factor.
We can't wait until the interview comes out. It could take days or weeks, and that's if she goes through with it. We have to do something in the meantime.
Listen, we can send a message. I'll volunteer to self-immolate.
That didn't change a thing last time. Plus, they're probably already doing that to our people in prison. We gotta get them out too. They're getting fucked up in there.
We can't worry about them right now. I know it sounds cruel, but they are sending in squads to take us out. They're going to use drones and military equipment. Most of the soldiers on these squads are former military men. If they find us, what are we going to do?
We load up, arm up, we can take them out before they take us.
Even if they kill the majority of us, how many are they willing to sacrifice for that? We cannot show them that we are weak.
Well, then we're just doing what they want us to do. They paint us in an image of being terrorists. If we start killing their soldiers, then they will start saying, "See, I told you they were terrorists."
What else do we do then? They're going to wipe us all out unless we do something.
Wait.
The crowd was silent.
The soldiers and the military equipment isn't the problem. It's the ones that tell them what to do.
And?
I got an idea.
Megan and Nick were huddled up by her desk.
You got it?
Yes,
When are you going to do it?
tonight.
How are you going to do it? Bill is going to be live streaming for a while, since this whole Monkey King murder fiasco.
I got no choice. It has to be done soon before anything happens.
Not tonight, just wait.
But Nick,
We can't go tonight. We'll do it soon, but not tonight.
Megan's fax machine began operating.
You're receiving a fax, Meg.
okay, give me a minute. I don't know who would be faxing me.
Meg grabbed the paper. Her and Nick started examining it. It had multiple headshot pictures of young men with their names underneath. Another fax came in of the same paper but with different men. And another.
What the hell is this? Who's faxing me?
Megan grabbed a paper and noticed something.
Meg, these faxes are coming from the FBI. Look at the fax number.
Nick?
Yeah?
I've seen these men before.
Where?
From the Monkey King.
Jimmy was at the headquarters of the UN in New York City, sitting across from the president of Mauritania.
You want to buy my country?
I want to, but I can't legally do it. It's against UN law.
The UN isn't the decider of what is law, since they break it all the time.
True, but it would give the other nations reason to intervene through force. And I don't know if you've been watching the news lately, but I'm not really a fan favorite of these higher-ups.
So what do you want then?
How about this? I still have a lot of income left through these anonymous investments I've made through a private company that no one knows I'm part owner in. I'll invest in Mauritania.
The president laughed.
Why would you invest in our country? We got no arable land, no resources. We are an extremely poor country. It's all deserts. The only thing we got is these offshore gas reserves which, like you said, can be seized from the UN in a snap of a finger. You'll get nothing in return.
Yes, I will. In return for this investment, I get influence over your country.
Influence?
Listen, I'll invest in your country. You can pocket as much of the money as you want. Hell, pocket all of it. Just give me the reins. I give you the money, you give me full rule over the country.
The UN will figure out what happened.
I'm sure they'll figure it out, but unless they're listening to us right now, they can't prove it.
And what if I don't comply? You give me the money, and I don't do anything. As a matter of fact, what would stop me to get my military to kill you?
You could. But I could pay your military more money in a day than they have made in their entire lives. And what do you think they'll do then? And if you don't give me free reins, then there won't be any money for you coming in. Listen, I'm sure these bastards here are trying to run me out of my country. They won't stop me if I decide to leave, but as long as I live in a country which isn't controlled by the states, which is basically half the world, there isn't much I can do. But if you let me operate in your country, that won't be an issue. You can turn me in, but you'll miss out on life-changing money, and you'll be back living in a third-world country. You do this deal with me, you'll get your payments now and a lot more in the future, and I'll turn Mauritania into a thriving country.
The president thought for a moment.
Okay, we got a deal.
He stood up from his chair and extended his hand for a handshake. Jimmy accepted.
We'll meet again.
You can't do this. Who approved this?
Dan was upset. He was berating his fellow congressmen and women.
Dan, we do this all the time. What's the problem now?
You're cutting off all connection from the inner city just to support Ziegler's offensive on the Monkey King.
Right.
Yeah, so Ziegler is going to cut off all connection to the inner city to further fund a program that hunts down the Monkey King, starting with the inner city. So you stop funding the inner city to destroy the inner city.
They'll understand. They hate the Monkey King too.
Not as much as they hate us, and especially not after we destroy their neighborhoods.
Dan, the inner city doesn't help us. We lose money from dealing with them.
It's not about making money. It's about doing your job. Jay, the deal you just cut off involved the police force, firefighters, ambulances, hospitals, construction, small business grants. You basically put a blockade on 90% of the city. It's a rotting city on life support and you just pulled the plug.
We also pulled the plug on the Monkey King.
A man walked up to Jason.
Jason, we need to talk to you.
I gotta go, Dan, but it's just what we have to do to finish this terrorist group off once and for all.
Jason walked away from Dan and was being escorted into an office. It was Robert Ziegler's.
Jason, I'm pleased to know that you signed the deal today.
Yes, we did. The inner city is on their own just like you asked.
Good. Here's your donations.
Ziegler opened a drawer and pulled out a yellow package and tossed it over to Jason.
That's a lot of money I'm giving you, Jay.
Well, thank you, Robert. I just give you what you want and you give me.
Sir.
Excuse me?
It's sir. We're not on the same level, Jay. I'm up here and you're beneath me. You don't have the right to call me Robert. I'm sir to you. That money I give you is more than generous, considering that I don't have to give you much. I got records of you fucking strippers and prostitutes in Haiti when you were supposed to be helping with the humanity crisis, not to mention all those DUI arrests that got buried because of me. So, that money isn't just for signing a deal. You're going to donate this money to Lauren Hauser. She is going to run next fall for Congress in the District of Virginia.
That's Dan's seat.
Yes, it is. She's going to run against Dan. That money goes to her campaign. You're the one that delivers it.
Why me?
Ziegler stared at Jason.
Why me, sir?
Lauren can't have someone like me donate to her. I don't got a great reputation. Plus, I got cameras on my ass all the time, so neither me or my men can do it. But nobody cares about you. Hurry up and deliver it today. Now get the fuck out of my office.
Jason got up from his chair and headed for the door.
I almost forgot. You're going to keep an eye on Dan for me.
How?
Don't give a shit how. Be his best friend, his butler, or whatever. Get anything you can get from him and deliver it to my men.
Are you sure?
Nick, I know for a fact that's them. I saw these men at Monkey King headquarters, and I swear these men were not happy to see me.
Meg started searching through her desk.
Look,
She was holding a photo and showing it to Nick.
I took this photo before I left. I thought it would be historic. But look, some of these men in this photo are the same men from these faxes from the FBI.
So there's feds undercover in the Monkey King.
There must be a lot. Look at all these faxes.
Meg, do you know what this means? Someone from the FBI sent you these faxes, meaning that they know you went to the Monkey King.
One of them undercover at the Monkey King must have told someone at the department, and they sent me this. Maybe like a warning. They must have gone rogue.
No, Megan, these are faxed directly to you at your desk. The only people that know your exact fax number are the ones that work for this company.
But the company only has this one building.
Exactly.
One of our employees are agents.
One? It could be 20 or 30. Who knows? But this one went rogue and sent you this.
I've always known Bill was influenced by the government, but I didn't realize his show literally has government employees pretending to be media. But how did this rogue Fed know I interviewed the Monkey King?
Meg, we talk about this idea of you interviewing the Monkey King for a while. You've always talked to Bill about doing it. You've brought this up to the other employees before. They've probably had their ears glued to us this whole time.
Do I release the interview then? I mean, all of the feds probably know that I interviewed the Monkey King.
They don't know yet because nothing has happened to you. But they will eventually.
Paul was still sitting in his basement, staring at the man chained in his basement.
Okay, listen. I know you swore an oath or something to not talk or give information, but I've already did something completely fucked up, so I might as well go all the way. Meaning that I will literally never let you leave this basement until you tell me everything. And I'm not feeding you.
So now you're going to murder me?
I don't want to, but tell me everything and I'll let you go. Even if I don't fulfill that promise, when I go public with the information you give me, it will increase the likelihood of you being set free. The government will have eyes on me, probably sneak into my house and find you here. If you don't tell me anything well, then you just stay here.
The man sighed.
Okay, what do you want to know?
Why were you released? Why was so many of the Monkey King members released?
We're not Monkey King. We're undercover agents infiltrating the group.
Why were you sent there?
To influence them to do stupid shit. What you think the Monkey King would actually show up to some fucking ceremony for some dipshit? We influence them. The Monkey King doesn't have a sole leader. It's majority vote, and the more feds to sway the votes, the better.
So the ceremony protests was the government's idea?
Yeah, they originally got it from Bill Shea, and we did the rest. Same with the fire protests. We tried to influence them to start a riot and shoot some cops, but they never go through with it. So we had filled almost the entire audience at the ceremony full of agents. If the Monkey King weren't going to start a riot, the audience were. And they did. And the media blamed the Monkey King for it. The government needs the Monkey King to do extreme dumb shit, so they lose support from the citizens.
Is that why I was suspended? I asked to interrogate a Monkey King prisoner, but they chose a member for me to interrogate, and they gave me you instead. And then you told your bosses that I wanted to help the Monkey King, and they had me suspended. Monkey King members were being severely tortured, yet you didn't have a scratch on your body. When I went to the prison, it was full to the brim, but then a few days later, half of them were gone, including you. There were that many members there?
I'm given a job, and I do it. No different than you. You take orders from your bosses just like me. And both our bosses work for the same guy.
If there are agents in the Monkey King, then how come they're trying to find them? They've set up a new department that deals with searching and destroying the Monkey King. If they have feds there, then they already know where it is. Why aren't they attacking them?
The man started laughing.
The government doesn't want to destroy the Monkey King. They want to keep it alive.
What are you talking about?
All this shit, agents encouraging the Monkey King to do dumb shit. That asshole Ziegler going all extreme. This potential civil war narrative. It's just a setup. The government doesn't want to destroy the Monkey King. They want control. When a group like the Monkey King show up and do extreme shit, then it gives the government an excuse to take extreme measures to control the population. Income tax was created to fund the Civil War, but the Civil War ended nearly 200 years ago, yet we're still paying income tax. The problem is when the group doesn't do extreme shit. When that happens, they send guys like us to influence them to do extreme shit. Then the government goes to war. Drone strikes the cities to make it feel like it's a total war and use that to take more control over the citizens. They say the changes are only temporary, but it's really forever. And when they destroy the cities, these companies then make billions of dollars rebuilding it. And then the government allows other wealthy people across the world to live in these areas while the other poor American citizens are displaced. You can't directly repress them, but you can create a bigger monster as a distraction, and then use that distraction to control the people without them even noticing.
Why do they want that much control?
Wouldn't you? If 90% of the population thinks you're the devil, your biggest fear is them rising up against you.
What about Alex Nielsen? What do you want with him?
Oh, we got some big plans for him.
Who, the government or the Monkey King?
A smile started to slowly appear on the man's face.
Both.
Alex was sitting around a campfire with his fellow Monkey King members.
It's all planned out. Everything is set. Tomorrow, this whole world changes forever. Now it's just up to you. Are you ready to do your part, Alex?
I'm ready.